I'm breathing underwater, I'm weightless through space. I'm soaring like an eagle all over this place. Creatures most will never see are waiting there to look at me, and all I gotta do is breathe underwater.
The year is 1524 and two ships are facing off. One just hoisted the Jolly Roger and the fight commenced. It's not going well for the pirates.
Abandon ship! Abandon ship! Abandon ship! About the treasure, Captain! If we can't have it, neither shall they! It'll go down with me and the ship! A pox on the treasure!
It was hard to hear, but they have a lot of treasure on board, most likely plundered from other ships. He pronounced a curse on all of it just before he went down with it. Fast forward to 1978 aboard the Seaview.
Inspection Team 3, right? You'll check out our intercontinental defense weapon 147. It lies approximately 1,000 yards due east, right? Uh-huh.
The United States has planted 275 missile silos on the ocean floor, and the Seaview is checking the cable that will soon link them all together in a single control. They have a special guest on board, an observer from some monitoring outfit.
Anything you'd like to say, Captain Brent?
Merely a word of caution. This area is a graveyard for ancient pirate treasure ships.
Well, the captain's right, gentlemen. Now, if you happen upon any old Spanish gold doubloons, don't pick them up.
No. Take the Admiral seriously. There's a curse on them. It would be tragic if some of you men were killed because of ancient pirate curse.
That's the pirate captain, or his descendant. We also know him as Captain Tucker from Lost in Space. I talked about Albert Salmi in one of those episodes. The divers head out, and we have some very nice underwater sequences. Although, every time I see this, it sets my teeth on edge. He is expending a lot of unnecessary energy. You know why you wear those fins on your feet instead of your hands? Because your legs are the strongest muscles in your body. You use them to propel you because they're more efficient than waving your hands around like that. Ideally, you get to where you're bobbing in the water like a fish, then you tuck your arms to your body and use your feet to move. He's going to be exhausted by the time he gets back, and it's his own fault. That's the weapon holder, and it checks out okay. And one of the guys spotted something in the sand. The Admiral said don't do that.
Inspection Team 3 reporting in.
All right, transmit.
Intercontinental Defense Weapon 147 located and inspected. Testing out operational.
What about telemetry and the firing cable?
All A-OK, sir.
Very well, return to Seaview.
Aye, sir. Oh, by the way, Admiral, you were right.
What about it? There being pirate treasure around here.
We found an old Spanish gold doubloon. Shall we leave it, sir?
Prior order countermanded. You can bring it aboard as a souvenir.
Aye, sir.
Never mind. Captain Brent doesn't think it's a good idea to flout the curse. Whatever that was set off the propellant in the missile, though not the warhead itself. Still, 2 men are dead. Nelson wants to know why. So do his bosses.
Harry, what the devil happened to number 147?
Well, all I know right now is that her propellant blew.
You're supposed to be testing our defense system in that sector. Didn't you check it out?
Our inspection crew reported it safe and operable.
But she still blew. Harry, in 6 hours, one cable will connect 275 intercontinental defense weapons.
274. If we don't have any more premature explosions.
I'll see to it that we don't. Find out what happened. Malfunction, sabotage, defective telemetry, whatever.
Will do.
Gosh, what a great idea. Why didn't Nelson think of that? More to the point, he's trying to do just that, and you're wasting his time telling him to do what he's doing. I wonder if he's ever read the Peter Principle. Captain Crane summons all divers plus the mini-sub crew to the missile room.
A mini-sub, obviously, a wet submarine.
That's right, Captain.
Such a small craft, one would assume that it would have a limited cruising range.
Not so bad. She carries enough fuel to make about 500 nautical miles.
It's the super economy model, gets close to 30 miles to the gallon.
Ah.
Captain, this is Morton. Mini-sub ready to launch at 0900.
How many knots can she make?
What?
The mini-sub, what is the cruising speed?
You're getting into classified information, Captain Brown.
And why does he want to know all this? While Kowalski and some others are helping the divers get into the water, Captain Crane has sent one of the mini-sub guys to get some piece of equipment. That answers my question about all of his questions. He puts on the wetsuit, and with the hood pulled down a bit, he gets past everyone and into the mini-sub. They launch without incident. The divers have scoured the area where the explosion happened and can't find a single clue. Everyone is back on board except the mini-sub.
What happened? Anderson was found inside there. Seems badly hurt, sir.
Henderson.
I'll get him to sit.
Go ahead.
All right, let's have it.
Well, Henderson was one of the 2 men assigned to the Mastodon.
Well, how many men left?
2.
And Henderson's wetsuit is gone.
A quick check confirms their suspicions. Although I'm not sure they suspected that. Admiral Nelson wants to know more about Captain Brent.
Oh, it's the reply to our question about Brent.
Excellent character. Highly qualified as electronic force field engineer. Impeccable family background for generations. Only exception, one ancestor who was a buccaneer in the 16th century.
Captain, this is Sparks. I think the mini-sub's trying to get through to us.
The signal is spotty, but Sparks works his magic and they have communication. Brent is raving about all the sunken treasure around him. He sounds, crazy?
Seaview! Seaview! There's something out there. It's coming toward us. It's going to hit us. Go back! Go back! Go back there! Go back!
Why does the Navy keep giving them more mini-subs? In 2 seasons, I think they've brought one back successfully. This one exploded. They know that because they have to ride out the shock wave. But Kowalski has its direction and distance. Let's see where it came from.
In the morn, the island of death. It's the only piece of land for hundreds of miles around.
And it's only a few miles from the explosion.
It's also very well known in the 16th century as a pirate hangout.
This is the captain. Prepare the flying sub for immediate launch.
Crane and Kowalski will take this flight and examine the island. Something very weird is going on here, and Captain Brent is in it up to his eyeballs. I don't think anybody believes he exploded with the mini-sub, so let's go find him.
Skipper.
I must be seeing things.
You're seeing things, all right.
It's not possible. It wasn't there 10 seconds ago.
Hang on!
While they're making a hard landing on the bottom, Admiral Nelson is getting another call from Washington.
We received additional information concerning him. You better scratch everything we told you.
I'll take this down. What do you have, Travis?
Allied Command got the wind up after your inquiry. We're trying to recheck it now. There's nothing definite we can tell you, but there seems to be something wrong with the man.
Admiral Nelson would appreciate it if he would hurry up and spit it out.
Well, what kind of things, Travis? What did you come up with?
Gaps in time in his past, forged birth certificate, school records. Almost as though Captain Alfred Brent never really existed.
Translation? Spy. But it's even worse. Sparks can't raise the flying sub. It vanished in the same place the mini-sub did. Admiral Nelson is tired of pussyfooting around. Get the Seaview underway toward that island. Captain Crane feels the same. While Kowalski repairs the flying sub well enough to get him back to the Seaview, he's getting into scuba gear to go check out the island. Hey, Captain, that yellow wetsuit may be almost the same color as the sand, but it really doesn't camouflage you that well. Told you, and take off the weight belt. This is hardly the time for a cardio workout.
Captain Brent.
Welcome to the island of death.
The working title of this episode was Cosplay Doing It Wrong. Kowalski has limped the flying sub back to the Seaview.
Here's a sample of what they found. Electronic wipeout, sir. Like something shot 100,000 volts into the main reactor circuit.
It's hardly the kind of damage that would be caused by a 16-pound shot from a smoothbore.
What, sir?
Never mind.
Hey, Kowalski just reported what he saw and heard. But the flying sub doesn't have any big honkin' dents in it either, which suggests the ship was a bit of misdirection while they hit it with whatever did that.
Sparks,
Aye, sir.
try to get Captain Crane on Sea Dog Circuit 3. Fast.
Aye, sir.
What is that sound?
His stomach does that when he hasn't eaten all day. Weird, huh?
You wouldn't understand. They didn't have them in the 16th century. Somebody's trying to get in touch with me. You see, all I have to do is say, this is Crane, I'm here with Brent on the island.
Captain, this is Sparks. Can you read me?
Not at the moment, but Sparks heard that. Nelson calls Washington.
I request release from present assignment for investigative purposes, sir.
Request denied, Harry. We can't go off half-cocked because of some silly superstition.
I don't agree. I think this phenomena poses a definite threat to our defense system.
Based on what?
If nothing else, the deaths of 3 of my men.
Accidents.
You call the behavior of Captain Brent accidental?
You're in the area of international flap now, Harry. Let the State Department take care of it.
In other words, he doesn't want to go out on a limb. Nelson is trying to explain that all this is related to the undersea network, but this guy insists he keep doing the drudge work, checking the installations before it all goes online.
Mr. Morton.
Yes, sir.
Turning over command of the CVDO.
Yes, sir.
You'll proceed under present orders. Continue to inspect and check out the defense system and cables.
Very well. Admiral. What if Admiral Howard requests to speak with you?
Tell him I've left to treat an incurable disease. Fleet Commander Bullheadedness.
may not be Sally Field, the girl with something extra, but I think we can all read Chip's mind right now. Kowalski is back in the flying sub. You'd think he'd had enough of that thing for one day, but when Admiral Nelson says go, you proceed whatever direction he's pointing, especially when the project is saving the captain. Every man aboard has the highest respect for Captain Crane and would do the same thing in a heartbeat. You can't blame them. The character is so well developed you can't help but admire him yourself. He treats the men as men first and crews second. He takes every loss personally and shows individual concern for each one of them. He still requires you to follow orders, but when you work for someone like that, you want to do the job well. You want to follow his lead because he's earned the right to lead by doing it well. Is he perfect? Heh. He makes mistakes like blundering onto that beach without doing any real recon first.
Place the prisoner on the table.
Do these guys really think they're pirates? Do they play along because the money's good? I often wonder about things like that.
La Reina Isabella. Is that the name of your treasure ship?
It is for a fact, Captain, the most dangerous, most powerful ship afloat.
Am I supposed to believe that?
It is a matter of complete indifference to me what you believe, Captain. But the fact remains that in less than 1 hour, the world will realize that what I say is true.
That's when the Defense Network is supposed to go live. Sounds like he has plans for it. And it sounds like the flying sub wants to watch. They've even brought a scanner that works like ground-penetrating radar. It's often fascinating to notice all the things that Irwin foresaw.
Kowalski, look there.
It's that ship again.
Activate the reflecting electronic shield. Fast.
Hope it works, sir.
It better work.
It works well enough, but they still get a crazy ride that ends up with them plunging into the water. I wonder if Kowalski's getting used to that yet. Once they've rattled their marbles back into place, they continue scanning underwater. On land, Brent is really playing up the old pirate angle with swords, flintlock pistols, and torture.
Sebastian, I'll join the others aboard the Isabella. You see what you can find out from our prisoner about the present position of the Seaview. Don't hurt him too much. Just enough to loosen his tongue. I'll rejoin you after my victory, Captain. Until then.
I've often wondered how small a person you have to be that you only feel like a big man when you're hurting someone or something else. How pathetic must your life be? Of course, in Sebastian's case, it doesn't help his situation that he's also stupid. Okay, this is easy. Grab the lip of the barrel and pull it to... Dummy, this is Captain Crane. He does things the hard way. If you're trying to show off your prehensile feat, your audience isn't watching. He also won't have the presence of mind to put Sebastian in those shackles. I'm not sure where he plans to go other than away. This is why you put Sebastian in the shackles before you go. That treasure chest, the actual treasure is about this deep. It's a lift-out tray. There's scuba gear underneath. If he's trying to catch up with Captain Crane, Sebastian is making a big mistake. That is going to leak like nobody's business. The edge goes under the lip of your hood so it can form a seal with your face. He's going to spend all his time trying to keep water out of his nose. But that's not his big mistake. His big mistake is assuming Captain Crane is in the water even though there aren't any bubbles. If he was out there in water that calm, you'd be able to tell exactly where he was. And if he isn't out there, where is he? Lucky for Captain Crane, Sebastian really is a little light in the noggin. Now he's the one being followed. That's the entrance to Brent's actual control room, which I doubt is a 3-masted pirate vessel.
My fellow countrymen, the time is here for our ultimate victory over the Western Hemisphere. Today, the Western Hemisphere. Tomorrow, the world. Ho! Ho! Ho!
His equipment is supposed to send a jolt through the defense system, set off all the bombs, and literally blow the Western Hemisphere to bits. Aboard the flying sub, Admiral Nelson and Kowalski just discovered how.
Looks pretty unusual, sir. It's a cable. Apparently running from the Isle of Death in the direction of the main cable linking our weapon system.
Our charts don't show anything like that, sir.
But they wouldn't. I think somebody's patched into our cable.
This system doesn't have any kind of safeguard against that or detection system. It's just there. It's nice of us to make it so easy for someone like Brent. Very polite. Go cut it.
Kowalski, get into wetsuit. We're gonna splice into that cable.
Not splice, slice. Cut it. Disconnect them.
Load and prime. All swell men be prepared to fire broadside at my command. At precisely 4 bells, La Reina Isabella will achieve the greatest victory in the history of the sea. And you have arrived just in time to witness it, Captain Crane.
He never has learned to watch his back. Kowalski is done tying into the cable.
How do we know this electronic reversal film will work?
Don't.
His idea is to use the flying sub's reactor to generate power enough that when the surge comes from the island, they can reverse it and send it back. I repeat, cut the cable that's coming from the island. They cram that much energy into a cable that goes nowhere. It's going to have the same effect as reversing things.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Kahoo.
Kaboom! And what are you getting out of all this?
The country that I work for is most generous to those who aid against the Western democracies.
How generous?
I shall obtain the rights to all the treasures in this area that belong to me and my family by right of conquest.
Piracy and conquest were 2 different things, Thinbeard, but he really believes he is the return of his long-lost ancestor. It's not about the money or even the treasure itself. I hate to put it this way, but it's the principle of the thing. He stole that treasure fair and square. The really funny thing about that statement is, in some cases, it was true. A lot of so-called pirates were actually privateers. In Western days, they'd be called hired guns. They sailed under orders to plunder ships from whatever country theirs was at war with at the time. The only stipulation was sharing the goodies with the crown, which most privateers were glad to do because there was plenty to go around. I doubt Brett's ancestor was one of those. I don't see either of them as the sharing type.
Anything out there yet, sir?
Oh, no. Here she comes. Reverse electronic power. And hang on.
It's a seesaw battle, and it's burning out every circuit at both ends.
Breaker circuits are blown out, Captain. Increase our load power. Power supply. Open emergency circuits. Throw those breakers. Throw the breakers.
No. The big boom is supposed to be out there somewhere.
Build up the load. Build up our load, idiot. Build it up. Build up our load, idiot. Build it up.
He has a feeling this isn't going to be a good place to be soon, and it has nothing to do with Sebastian.
We have to destroy the hemisphere.
If his underwater control room was in the shape of a hemisphere, he succeeded. Otherwise, not so much. Networking a country's nuclear capability together. Again, Irwin foresaw. And the way it was described here, it was a really bad idea. Captain Brent showed us why. The world Irwin envisioned here knew enough to have safeguards against unauthorized physical tapping of the cable. I couldn't swear the technology existed in 1966, but by the 1978 that he created, I'm sure it did. I like Albert Salmi and even buy that he thought he was a resurrected pirate. I don't get the other guys, unless their country has them under orders, to just go with it. Even so, the story is well told and well acted. The premise may be a little shaky, but all in all, it stands firm as a good episode.
I'm breathing underwater, I'm weightless through space. I'm soaring like an eagle all over this place. Creatures most will never see are waiting there to look at me, and all I gotta do is breathe underwater.
Two ships are pirate battle. Or the technology